This story was sent to me. The way it ends raises many questions of its validity and how it came to light in the first place, but I will leave you decide. Now, our stories are scary, but not hitting like and subscribe is terrifying. Join us before the ghosts get you. But before we begin, sit comfortably, dim the lights, turn the volume up, and listen to what the world has to say. Now, let's begin. I grew up hearing stories about Creek, a secluded area just outside our small town. As a child, I dismissed the tales as mere folklore meant to scare children. But as I got older, curiosity gnawed at me. The creek, surrounded by dense woods, was said to be haunted by the spirits of those who had vanished there over years. These weren't just stories from old times. Even recently, people had disappeared without a trace. It was a brisk autumn evening when I finally decided to venture into Hollow Creek. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and my phone, I set out to uncover the truth. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to dance ominously among the trees. The path leading to the creek was overgrown, almost as if nature itself was trying to keep intruders out. Undeterred, I pushed forward, my breath visible in the cool night air. The further I walked, the quieter it became. The usual sound of the forest, rustling leaves, chirping crickets, faded into an eerie silence. It felt as though the woods were holding their breath, waiting for something. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing in stillness. I had just begun to wonder if returning back might be the wiser choice, and that's when I heard it. A faint, almost imperceptible cry. I froze, straining to listen. The cry came again, louder this time. A mournful wail that sent chills down my spine. It seemed to be coming from the direction of the creek. I swallowed hard, gripping my flashlight tighter, and continued forward. The path grew narrower, the trees pressing in on either side. The cry grew louder with each step, morphing into a chorus of voices, men, women, children, all wailing in unison. When I finally reached the creek, I was struck by how ordinary it looked. A narrow stream of water trickled through the rocks, reflecting the moonlight. But the cries were deafening now, a cacophony of sorrow that seemed to emanate from the water itself. I shone my flashlight around, searching for any signs of the source. Then I saw it, a figure standing at the ends of the creek, shrouded in darkness. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. The figure didn't move. I took a tentative step forward, then another. As I approached, the figure began to take shape. A woman, her face obscured by a veil of hair, her clothes tattered and wet. "Are you okay?" I asked, though the question felt absurd given the circumstances. She slowly lifted her head, and I gasped. Her eyes were hollow, empty sockets that seemed to suck in the light. Her mouth opened, and the cries intensified, pouring out of her like a river of anguish. I stumbled back, my flashlight flickering. Panic surged through me, and I turned to run, only to find myself surrounded by more figures, all with the same hollow eyes and wailing mouths. I was trapped. The figures closed in, their cries piercing my ears, driving me to the brink of madness. In a desperate bid to escape, I waded into the creek, hoping the water might somehow break the spell. As I splashed through the icy current, I noticed something glinting beneath the surface, a small, ornate box. Without thinking, I reached for it, pulling it out from the water. The moment I touched the box, the cries ceased. The figures vanished, leaving me alone in the silent night. My hands shook as I opened the box, revealing a single, yellowed photograph. It showed a group of people standing by the creek, their faces eerily familiar. My eyes widened as I recognized them. They were the missing people from the stories, the ones who had vanished over the years. And then I saw her, the woman with the hollow eyes standing among them. But she wasn't just part of the group. She was holding a child in her arms, a child with my eyes. A cold realization washed over me. This wasn't just a haunted place. It was a place that demanded a sacrifice, a place that took its victim and made them part of its endless wail. I looked closer at the photograph, my breath catching in my throat. There, at the edge of the group, was another figure, slightly blurred, but unmistakably me. The box slipped from my hands, splashing into the water. The cries began anew, louder, more insistent. I turned to run, but the figures reappeared, their hollow eyes now fixed on me. As they closed in, I understood the truth. Hollow Creek didn't just take people, it replaced them. The photographs, the figures, the cries, they were all part of a circle, a never-ending loop of sorrow and loss. And now, it was my turn to become part of the legend, to join the chorus of the damned, to be the next face in the photograph that will lure the next curious soul to their doom. The last thing I saw before the darkness consumed me was my own hollow-eyed reflection in the creek, a silent witness to the eternal cry of Hollow Creek. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, you can always reach me on real@gameacademics.vip. Thank you everybody, and good night.